This is Azad, and today I'm going to explain how you guys can implement a stack using an array. So, as you guys know that the stack is a first in last out or last in first out data structure, and it is having two major functions, push and pop. So, I'm going to use array to implement this stack. So, I have defined this array or this stack. The size of this stack is 10. So, these are the indexes 0 to 9. So you guys know that each stack is having a top variable. So top actually it acts as a pointer. So it is going to always point to this topmost element of the stack. So I have initialized this top to -1. So top is equals to -1. It means that there is no element into this stack. So now if I want to, so both these this array and this stack both are the same thing. So this is in the horizontal mode, this is in the vertical mode, so you guys can understand easily. So let's say if I want to push 10 into this stack, so what will happen? So whenever we have to insert anything into this stack, so what will always do, will increment this top variable and insert the element at the topmost position. Okay, again let's say I want to insert 20 into this stack, so I will increment this variable. So now top is pointing to 1, so at one position I will enter 20. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with this array uh, again. So I will insert 10 here, I will insert 20 here. Now if I want to pop from stack, so what will happen? So whenever we have to pop something, we'll return this topmost element. So we'll return this array, this 20 from this stack, and after returning we'll decrement this top variable. So we'll return 20 and decrement this one, so nothing will be here, it's just the index. Okay, and again if I return something, then top will be decremented here and nothing is here. So if I want to return something from here, so actually there are two major things which we'll have to take into consideration whenever we are working with a stack, that stack overflow or underflow. So whenever we are popping from the stack, we are taking out some element from the stack, we'll need to see if this top variable is pointing to -1. It means if the value of top is equals to -1, that stack is underflown, there's no element into the stack. Or if top is pointing to this last position, that is uh, size of this stack -1, that is size of stack is 10 and 10 -1 is equals to 9, and top is pointing to 9. It means that currently the stack is full, and if you want to push something into this stack, we won't be able to do this. Okay, so I guess you guys have understood a little bit, so you'll get to understand more when we'll do the coding part. So I use Xcode as my text editor. The thing is, the thing with Xcode is that I have done a lot of programming with developer C++, and when I was using Windows, so now I am switching to Mac, and with Mac, Dev C++ is not available. Code block is there, but I don't really like code blocks, and Xcode looks much similar to developer C++, so I'm using this one. Okay, so let's do the coding part. So now we'll have to define the size of the stack. So let's define the size as mx. Mx is equal to 10. Okay, so we'll create the stack of size mx, which is 10, and we'll create this stack. Okay, and we'll need to create a variable top, and I will initialize this variable to -1. It means that currently there is no element into this stack. And stack is having two major functions, push and pop. So I will create one more function, display, which is going to display the stack. So let's create a function push. So push function is not going to return anything. It's going to take one element as a parameter, the element this which we want to push into this stack. Okay, so the return type will be void push int, let's say item. Okay, so we want to push something. So whenever we have to push, we'll need to see if the stack is overflown or not. So we'll see if top equals to mx minus 1. It means that stack is full. So we'll see out stack overflow. Okay, else we'll increment this top variable and we'll insert item into this topmost position. This function looks good. Let's create another function. So next function which we are going to create will be pop function. So what happens in pop? So pop function is going to return something and it's not going to take any argument. So the return type will be equal, and what is it? This function is going to return the topmost item. Okay. So the thing with this pop function is that whenever we are popping from stack, we need to see if that if stack is underflown or not. So until and unless there's something into the stack, we cannot pop anything, right? So if top equals to -1, it means there's nothing into this stack. So since I have defined this return type to be int, if we simply print that stack underflown and try to return from this stack, it's gonna give me an error because the return type is I have defined is minus int. So something must be returned from this function. So I'm going to return, let's say -1. So -1 will indicate that there is currently no element into the stack. Okay, else uh, so I can do this, but the thing with this statement is that after returning it I could not decrement the top variable. So what I will do, I will create a variable temp and store the topmost element into this temp. I'll declare this topmost variable pointer and return this temp. Okay, so this function also looks good. Again, another function, display. What this function is going to do, simply going to print the stack, but we need to see if stack or if top equals to -1, because we cannot print anything if the stack is empty. We'll simply print stack is empty, else we'll create a for loop. Top cout stack I. Okay, this function also looks good. There's no error till now. So I want to create an interactive program. I want to ask user I want to ask you, give some choices to the user, and depending of the choices the user will select, I am going to perform some functions. So let's create a variable choice ch, and I will ask user, okay, enter choice 1 to push into stack. Okay, choice 2 is going to be pop from stack. Okay, and choice 3 will be display stack. And there's going to be another choice 4 will be exit the program. Okay, Now I want to ask this choice again and again, so we need to have a loop. So let's create a loop, a do while loop actually, while ch is not equals to 4. So this loop is going to run until unless user does not enter 4 as its choice. So again I will ask user enter your choice, and user will enter the choice. Okay, so now the choice variable can have 4 values, 1 2 3 4, and one more another default value. So I'm going to use switch case over here. So let's use switch case. Case 1. So what happens in case 1, I want to push into this text, so I will ask the user enter the item to push. Okay, I will create one variable, let's say item. User will enter the item. I will push the item into the stack. I will apply break here. This looks good. Now case number 2. Okay, now case number 2 says pop. Okay, this pop from stack. So I'll create a variable named let's say data, and assign this to this pop function. So pop function is going to return -1 if there is no element into this stack. So if data equals to -1, I'm going to print out stack under flow, else I will print pop item is this one, data. Okay, I will put break here. This function looks good. This switch case looks good actually. And now case 3, display. I'll simply ask print the display function. Now case 4. Case 4 is going, I'm going to return from programs, you return 0, and there's another case which will generally create default print user please enter a valid choice. Okay, I don't think these parentheses are necessary, but let's see. You guys will try it without the parentheses and let me know. The thing is, I haven't worked with switch case for a while, and this program works perfectly, I think. So let's try to run this program. Okay. Okay. So this is so let's try to push into the stacks, and I need to enter \n over here. That's why this exit and enter are combined together. So again, I'm going to run this program. Okay, now this looks good. So enter your choice. So I will enter, let's say, choice number 1. Let's say enter the item to push. I will push 10. Again, I will push, enter the choice 1, push 20. And now I want to display the stack. Let's enter the choice 3, 10, 20. Okay, that looks good. Now if I want to pop from stack, choice number 2, pop item is 20. Again I want to pop the item is 10. Again I want to pop stack under flow. Again I want to pop stack under flow. This program looks good, and let's okay. So this is it. I think this program works correctly. So I want to exit from this program. So I simply press 4 and press enter. Let's say program ended with code 0. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you guys have any doubts, just simply write those doubts into this comment section. I will definitely try to answer in each and every doubt. So okay, thanks again.